Hello everybody, welcome to the last video for this unit. As it says, review for the Unit 5 test. As you know, there's actually not going to be a Unit 5 test. There will be an assessment for Unit 5, kind of similar to the previous one. I will, full disclaimer, right before, I do not have access to this assessment. I am not making this assessment. I can't even look at it because of my hub settings. And therefore I do not know what the questions are, or I mean, even after you answer the questions, I won't be able to tell you what you got wrong or anything like that. So I'm afraid, I know some of you did ask me for the previous assessment, but like I said, I don't really have that information. I apologize. You would have to talk to Mr. Chermoli about that. But I will go over these 4 questions in the review, but I will give you, I will leave these textbook questions for you to do, and, get back if you have any questions, leave a comment at the bottom of this video and I'll follow up with you on that. But we're just going to, we're gonna do some of these questions. Okay, so first of all, what is the total value of our weekly sales is the question. So let X be the total value of weekly sales. So, okay, now let's read the question. Becky works part-time at a clothing store. She earns $80 per week plus 6% of the value of her sales. Okay, so she earns $119 total this week. So whatever she earns is equal to $119. And how does she earn that $119? She earns $80 plus 6% of her weekly sales. But we said her weekly sales is X, so 6% of X. So 80 plus 6 divided by 100 is 6%. 6X over 100 equals 119. I'm first going to move this 80 over to the side, make it minus 80. So I get 6 over 100X actually equals 239, I think. And now I'm going to move the 100. Again, I'm splitting up the term, so the 100 is going from the denominator to the numerator. And the 6 is going from the numerator down to the denominator. Then I'm going to do some cross canceling. This gives me a 2. This divided by 3 is 13. And 2 actually divides by 100 to give me a 50, which I should have actually simplified it right here. I could have made this 3 over 50, but it doesn't really matter. So X equals $650, so the total value of a weekly sales in dollars, of course. And then so therefore, statement very important, the total weekly sales is $650. As we know, that's the answer. So hopefully that wasn't too hard. Given all the practice you have already completed with word problems and solving equations. The 2 equals, question 2 now. The 2 sides of the 2 equal sides are 2 centimeters shorter than the longest side. So we'll draw a rough sketch here. We see here that the 2 equal sides here. So we're going to say let the 2 equal sides be X centimeters. So this is X centimeters, this is X centimeters. And we know that these sides are 2 centimeters shorter than the longer side. So this is the longer side, and this is 2 centimeters longer than X. So 2 centimeters longer than X, X plus 2. If the perimeter is 83 centimeters, find the 3 side lengths. So, of course, perimeter is sum of all sides. So X plus X plus X plus 2 equals 83. 3x plus 2 equals 83. Move the 2 first. 3x equals 83 minus 2 is 81. X equals 81 divided by 3, which is 27 centimeters. And so if we have x equals 27 centimeters, the 3 side lengths are 27, 27, and 29, because that's 27 plus 2. Remember, therefore statement, but those are the answers. And again, very easy to see how we did those things, hopefully. Okay, let's take a look at this question. So this is an interesting type of question. So it looks like you have a whole bunch of operations on this side, and then that's just equal to 5. So you can do this in two ways. First way is to expand this left-hand side and make it simpler. So I'm going to do that one way. So this left-hand side is going to be 12. So always work inside to outside. So 2 minus, I'm going to do distributive property here first with the -4. So 2 minus 4x plus 12 in the square bracket. And then again, distributive property. Oh, wait, before that, I am going to simplify 2 plus 12 to give me 14 minus 4x. Now I'm going to use distributive property because I did 2 plus 12 here. So now I'm going to use distributive property with the -3. I get -2 plus 12x. And all of this, of course, equals 5. Don't forget that. And now here I have 12 minus 42 is -30 plus 12x equals 5. And so I'm going to move this -30 to the other side where it becomes +30. So I get 12x equals 35. Divide both sides by 12. X equals 35 over 12. And I think that's been converted to a mixed fraction here. I don't really think that's necessary. You can leave it as 35 over 12. That's fine. The other way to do it is actually to kind of, again, because I have only one variable here, I can just use reverse BEDMAS and keep going. So the first thing I'm going to do is deal with this 12. So I'm going to move the 12 over to this side and make it minus 12 because I'm moving the entire term, right? So it's going to be -3 bracket 2 minus 4 x minus 3 equals -7. And now I have to divide by -3 because it's a multiplication here and I'm moving it that side. So I'm going to divide by -3. So what I get is 2 minus 4 bracket x minus 3 equals 7 over 3. Now I'm going to subtract 2 because this is a +2 and I'm going to move it to this side. So I have to -2. So -4 bracket x minus 3 equals 7 over 3 minus 2. So take the common denominator. This is 1 over 3. Next step is to divide by 4. So x minus 3, or move it to the denominator, I should say. So when this -4 goes to the denominator, you get x minus 3 equals -1 over 12. And then finally, I'm going to move this +3 over to this side. X equals -1 over 12 plus 3 over 1. Again, take a common denominator, times 12 times 12. 36 minus 1 is 35 over 12. Now that I think about it, this is probably the more complicated way. I just showed it to you, but really you should probably stick with this method, the first way that we did it. So that's just an interesting alternative to think about. Okay, we'll take a look at this guy. It looks to me that, again, we have two x's. So first I want to get rid of any fractions. So common denominator, lowest common denominator is 6. So I'm going to multiply everything by 6. Which is actually not that bad because I'm just 0 times 6 is just 0, of course. So 3 and 6 cross cancel to give me 2 bracket x plus 2. And then 6 and the 6 cancel. And I'm left with minus 5 bracket x minus 5 just equals 0, right? So I'm going to, of course, use distributive property twice for both the brackets. 2x plus 4 minus 5x plus 25 equals 0. 2x minus 5x is -3x plus 29 equals 0. And now I'm just going to move this 29 over to this side, make it -29, divide both sides by -3, or move the -3 over, whichever way you want to do. Think about that as though the answer is just x equals 29 over 3. I think that's the right answer. 9 2, yeah, that's the same thing. Yeah, I don't really care for improper fractions. You can leave it like this. we'll take a look at this last question. I am going to have to, I don't know where I'm going to do this question. And, really, I don't want to copy this. Copying this whole thing out is going to be kind of annoying. So I'm going to do some steps here, and then I'm going to go to a blank page before I work with that. I don't know if I can edit. Did that do anything? I don't think it did anything. Well, I don't think it did anything. So never mind all that. We're just gonna change color. We're just gonna continue like we normally do. So we'll take a look at this again. I have y's on both sides of the equal to sign, so I'm going to take a common denominator first, and I'm going to multiply everything by the common denominator here is 15, so times 15, 7 times 15, negative 2 over 3 times whatever this bracket is, times 15. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Interestingly, there is an easier way to do this, but well, I'll actually talk about that way. For those of you who are interested, we'll do that method. So I'm going to cancel out the 5's first, cross cancel. I'm left with a 3. So this just becomes 9 bracket 10 plus 15y. 7 times 15 is 105, I think, yeah. And then 3 and 15 cross cancel, you get a 5. Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10, bracket 12. Oh, no. No, my work. Okay, I'm going to have to redo that because this program behaves weird sometimes. Sigh. There. Now I'm going to use distributive property. 90 plus 135y plus 105 equals negative 120 plus 240y. Okay, let's okay, first we can actually combine some things. 90 plus 105 is 195. So I am gonna write that 195 plus 135y equals negative 120 plus 240y. And then this over here and this over there. So 195 plus 120 is 295 plus 20 is 315. Equals 240 minus 135y, which is 105y, and we're dividing both sides by 105, so I get y equals 3. That's my final answer. You are going to check, so when it says check, you have to show a formal check. I'm not going to do that because you guys know what a formal check looks like, and I know my answer is correct because the answer is given here. But you are hopefully checking and doing like 3 over 5 bracket 10 plus 15y. I will show you a shortcut to do this this question. Actually, if you take a look at this side, you can see here that inside my bracket I have a 10 plus 15y. And I can actually factor out, do you guys remember? Hopefully we remember factoring from the last unit. We can factor out a 5 from here because that is the greatest common factor between a 10 and a 15y. So this is actually 3 over 5 times 5 bracket, again I'm doing division, 10 divided by 5 is 2, 15y divided by 5 is 3y. plus 7 equals the same thing over here. I'm going to factor out a 12 actually. 2 divided by 3 times 12 times 1 minus 2y. So after the factoring, I can cross cancel out this 5. So I'm just left with 3 bracket 2 plus 3y plus 7 equals 8 bracket 1 minus 2y. I still have to do distributive property. I still have to move things around, but the numbers are a lot easier to work with here. I'll leave that to continue. This was just a nice trick and a useful thing to work on in later times. You'll be doing a lot of factoring in grade 10, so it's useful to keep that in mind. So if you're okay doing it this way, I'd highly recommend taking a look at it and finishing up the problem and making sure you get the same answer. But of course, when you're checking, you do have to put it back in the original question. There's no shortcuts around that. So yeah, that was a review. I hope this wasn't too long a video, and it's only 15 minutes, which is short considering how long it usually takes. But again, I'm not going to look over the homework because I'm leaving that to you. If you have any questions, please feel free to post a comment at the bottom of this video, and or contact me or Mr. Chumoli in any of the myriad ways that it is possible for you to do so. I will keep in touch regarding any future kind of questions that we have to do in this unit, and of course I'll be posting videos for the next unit as soon as we have completed or we're heading towards the the assessment in this unit, whenever that is. Probably, like I said, sometime early next week. So so you have plenty of material to cover this week, and I will talk to you soon. Stay safe, and please practice and ask any questions that you have. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.